Okay, so after you've completed your 120 hours or all the hours that you're going to do for a particular internship, you're going to need to get some documentation that you've completed the hours that you say you did. So what you need to do is scroll down to the log section, and we're going to click in here, and we're going to take a look at this. Now this is set up, the text I modified it just recently, so in the event that you have more than one internship, you can separate it out and identify how many hours you logged in. So if you did not complete 120 hours, your internship instructor is going to confirm the hours that you did work and initial them. Then your internship uh, uh, supervisor would put their name and sign it and date it. Uh, Otherwise, if you did complete the 120 hours, they don't need to do this section in here. The problem is getting all the internship information on one page. So right now, if I were to print this out, I would be printing out only the one page in here, and then I still have to print out the other section in here, which isn't part of this grouping. So I would have to print that out, then I would have to go to page 2, and then I would have to print this out and set up this so that you can see what I was doing. It's actually still updating. Well, that's kind of a pain to have to worry about printing that out. So what you want to do is first you want to just pick 1,000, and I've got more. Then I'll save the setting. I've got more space than I need in here. I've only got around 16 logs, and so that puts them all on the same page. This does get a little over 120 hours the way this is listed out. And so if I print this out, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle through here, and now you can see that I've got all my information in here. So I would print this out, and it would look like this. My supervisor would only sign the bottom in here, right? Put their name in here and sign the bottom, and then everything else in here is confirmed. And that's it if you've only got one internship. If you've got more than one and they don't all individually stand at 120 hours, then you're going to need to get your instructor, or rather your supervisor, to type in how many hours you did work, initial it, put their name, and sign it and date it. And here's how you separate it out. The simplest thing to do is if you happen to have two different supervisors working for two different companies, you can designate the search through an advanced setting and type in the name of the supervisor. So in this case, I have two names. I have Tim Keene, and I can do a search for Tim Keene. And this lists out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layouts for Tim Keene. And I can go ahead and print it out. And in this case, I don't want to print the first page because it's got a bunch of junk on it. It's got all of this stuff on it. So I can start the page with page 2, and I'm going to see what I have on page 3. So page 3 I have stuff that I don't need here, so I'm just going to print from page 2 to page 2. And then let's do a preview on that and see what that looks like. And so that's it. It's only one page. It's got all the hours that I need. I would add these hours up in here, write the time in there, and then my supervisor would initial it. Presumably it's Tim Keene. Write his name down, sign it and date it, and turn that into the art department, and you're good to go. So the other option then, of course, is when you're doing the search, we can do a search for Bill Dorr, and we'll do a save the setting for that. And then all of these are for Bill Dorr. Then I would print that. You can start on the page 2, and let's see how far we can go before it starts to be nonsense. Well, in this case, they're all pretty well filled, so I would go from page 2 to page 3. And so that looks like the beginning of the file, the end. Let's see a preview of that. And so this would be the output for Bill Dorr. So then presumably Bill Dorr would sign this, and I would be good to go. Well, sometimes you're going to have more than one supervisor in one location. And instead of having to print out a bunch of individual documents for the individual supervisors, what you can do is isolate it by the company. And the way you do that is by doing the search with a tag. So still with the advanced settings. So let's go back to the original setup. This is what the original looked like. So you click on the advanced settings, and let me get rid of Bill here. And in here you would do a tag. So you could be working for the same company in two different divisions. So let's say I was working in marketing. So I typed in or paste in the word marketing in here, or it could be the name of the company if it's two different companies. And I'm going to click away, and you want this to turn purple. Then you can do your search, and now this displays the marketing settings. And there's only 4 of them. But in some cases it's being done with Bill Door. It looks like it's always been done with Bill Door. Let's change that. So let's say I realize that I'm missing a spot and I need to make a modification. So I'll go back to the single view search, and I'll rifle through here, and I'm looking, number 1's got a spot, or rather number 2 does. Let's see if number 1 has. Number 1 does. How about number 4? No, let's go, oh, this is Tim Keene, so we'll use that one. So I want to edit that. So I'm going to click on here, slide down here to my tag, paste the tag, hit the return key, or click away. And then what we want to do is save. And now I've got an extra spot with Tim in it as a marketing person. So I'll come back over here, and over here I'll paste my tag in here, click away, and do a search. And now Tim shows up as one of the categories for this section. So that's another option. The only downside to using the tag is that if I want to do a search for the other company, I'm going to have to type in tags for that company as well. So I have to have 2 tags, one for each company, so that I can parse them out. But then what you would do is you would print these out individually, and you would take one to one company and one to the other. Don't mix them up. Add the hours up, put them in here, have your supervisor sign them, and staple them, and then turn them into the art department. I think it's easy enough to figure out. If you had to do this on your own, it'd probably be a little bit difficult, but hopefully this video will help. And again, if you print it out, remember to start when you've got them all ganged up with the tag or by an advanced search. Make sure that you don't print that first page. And in here let's go to page 3. Looks like it's going to have to ride, and then we'll do a preview of that and see what that looks like. So there's, oh, looks like I didn't need the last page. Okay, well, if you have any problems, give me a call during my office hours, or drop in during my office hours, and I can help you out with this.